B2B marketing and sales managers face some difficult challenges. The pressure is on to minimize budget wastage, increase ROI, and find new ways to get through to all of the influencers and decision makers needed to land the big accounts. Traditional methods just aren't enough anymore. Vendemore provides account-based marketing for complex selling B2B companies. It's targeted online advertising to just those key accounts whose business you're trying to get. In most B2B companies, around 80% of the potential revenue comes from a few top accounts. Yet, the marketing budget is often spread evenly over the entire customer base. Instead, why not invest more on those accounts you know have the biggest potential for revenue? Simple transactional selling, smaller deals, use something else. But for business-to-business companies making large, complex deals with long sales cycles and a high number of stakeholders, absolutely, account-based marketing is a perfect match. Think of the possibilities. A customized message tailored for that specific organization you're trying to sell to that only they will see online throughout your long sales cycle. It's like placing ads outside their office, but made online. Your ads will show up in over 1 million local, national, and international websites, but only for the employees in the organizations that you target, not the guys across the street. It's IP-targeted advertising, and it's highly efficient and incredibly effective. And it's not just traditional ads. It's content, your content. Those videos that you spent all that time and effort on that are just sitting gathering dust on your website, get them out there. Put them to work. It can be white papers, a customer case, your live blog or Twitter feed. With Vendemore, you can optimize the mix of formats per account. Vendemore is the global leader in account-based marketing. We work with over 100 Fortune 500 companies worldwide in diverse markets, helping them to stay top of mind over a long period of time and drive relevant traffic to their website. Vendemore's account-based marketing solutions support both marketing and sales to help land the biggest deals you can't afford to lose.
Hi everyone, I'm glad to be here. It's a pleasure. Come all the way across the Atlantic. We do great things here in the US, so it's a prioritized market, definitely. I want to share with you some of the learnings we've done over the last 9 years in account-based marketing. Sangram, where are you? He's calling me a veteran in account-based marketing. I take that as a compliment, or is it that I'm old? Okay, so I'll share with you some insights that we have gathered over the years. So we talked about this before, but I want to emphasize because it's so critical. So one of my learnings, I've been starting 3 different companies, all in software. But in between those, I was the CIO of a big company on the stock market. I'm not the CIO type, though, but I was a CIO. So one thing I learned was that what's difficult to sell into big enterprises is not the lead, is actually to drive a change. When you sell something of high value, influencing many stakeholders, it's all about getting them wanting to change and also reduce the risk. That's what it's all about. So that's why the sales cycle quite often looks like this. That's what I tried to draw on the board earlier. It more or less looks like this. So it starts somewhere, they get fired. Gil, where are you? Start somewhere else. And all of a sudden, after many years quite often, it takes off. And the last phase goes really fast. So when I was on the vendor side, I thought that the long sales cycle was due to complexity. It's not. It's due to the unwillingness to change. And then second step is to get a consensus around the change. That's the trick. So that's one of the things I will talk to you about. So that's looking at one account. And this is something I want to second serious. So this is some of their great research. A lot of companies previously have spoken about marketing is doing their stuff. You have a sign up on the website and you hand over a lead to sales. That's probably a good idea if you're a consumer company or if you're a transactional B2B company. We only work with the complex B2B companies, and for them, handing over a lead to sales is not doing the job because that sign up is only worth very, very little. It's all about the change, etc. So this is what it really looks like if you look at serious research. So marketing is interacting with sales all along the funnel and even also on the existing customer, so actually on that end. So it's a mix of interaction, and this is what Jill tried to explain as well. So this is a great slide from Sirius. We've just colored it with Vendemore colors. But this also is a bit of a simplification, I think, because most of the companies that we work with, they're not selling to an individual. They're selling to one or many buying committees. So inside the account, you have maybe 50 processes like this. And they're not, as we saw in the previous slide, they're not linear. So it's quite messy, right? But then looking at another perspective of the account, going to the next slide. So this is how it can look inside an account. And sales are typically pretty good at interacting with a few people. And most salespeople, even in the SAPs, the Siemens, etc. of the world, most key account managers are pretty good at interacting with a small group. But they're very uncomfortable going outside of that group. And also the marketing tools that we've been using in the past in the B2B marketing landscape is all about targeting named individuals that we have in the CRM database or that we acquire through a data provider. But almost inevitably, we're targeting too few people. So it rather looks like this. And the people we cannot reach, that's what we illustrate by the broken arrow, is a mix of C-level people, users. Sometimes you find a gatekeeper in there. They come up in the late state of the sales funnel saying, well, no, this doesn't work because of port 80. We're like, what? Something blocking the deal because someone doesn't want it to happen. So anyone recognizing this? Around half of you? So how many do complex B2B selling? So there was actually more people doing complex B2B selling than raising their hand in the first question. So are you lying? Because this is the truth. No, anyway, what we've seen is that the salespeople that are good at political selling, so not just doing the solution selling, they're good at the political layer. How can I interact with 47 people, 50 people, 100 people? They are fantastic, and they'll sell 3-4 times more than an average salesperson. But we can't copy them so easily. So most sales managers go, I just need some more of those stars. Yeah, we've tried that for a while. It doesn't work. So how can marketing help out in this situation? So, but also looking at, I want to second, where is he? Joseph Jaffer. So looking at this is a typical revenue distribution for many companies. We have current revenues being the purple bar graph. The blue is the growth potential on the existing client, and the green is top clients that we can acquire. Typically, we spend the sales resources like this, and we have many clients where they have 12 people per account on the far left, and over here we have one person running 1,000 accounts for the SMB sector. So in effect, we're spending 12,000 times more money on sales on the far left as we do on the far right. So I want you to do an exercise. You can discuss this in pairs. How many companies do you need to take from your biggest client and downwards to get 80% of your revenue? Please spend a minute on this. And I don't expect you to know it by heart, but you probably have a guess. You won't get a minute, you get half a minute. So, who of you have the 80-20 rule? So 20% of your customers are representing 80% of revenue. Raise your hand. So quite a few. How many have the 90-10 rule? So 10% of your customers are representing 90% of your revenue. Raise your hand. How many has an equal distribution of revenue? Raise your hand. All right, so the issue here is that this is how we spend the marketing money. The revenue, like Joseph mentioned, is really concentrated around a few accounts. And we often know, if we ask sales or the top management, which are the top accounts that we should get? They know it by heart. It's like da 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 da, right? So account-based marketing, in my view, is all about how can we grow the best existing clients. And for big companies, which is my primary target group, they're kind of working with everyone already at some point or some level. So it's all about growing existing customers and acquire the best new ones. ABM like some people claim you can use ABM across the board. I disagree completely. ABM is not for the long tail. It's not for the SMB market. So looking at it in another way, so this is the same distribution but in a pyramid. And in the top of this scale, you should be doing account-based marketing more or less all the time. You just change themes and work on them all the time. Because if you have 12 salespeople there, it probably makes sense to be always on, like Walmart, Tesco, etc. On the second tier, over here we can have, up there we can have maybe 50, 100 accounts. But on the second tier, they can be 500, 1,000, 3,000. We have a different issue. The biggest issue in the second tier is actually priority. Which account should we prioritize? And the big priority, forgive your marketeers, is not the marketing money. The big priority is sales time. We have, on the second tier, let's call the top one global account managers, and here we have key account managers. They have too many accounts to focus on. Too many products to carry, too many accounts to focus on. So I'll show you soon how you can work on that. And down here, do search, marketing automation, whatever, not account-based marketing. So, should you create content specifically per account, or should you do a poker card analogy? So, it's overly ambitious. I mean, our best clients are doing account-specific content, but they've done ABM for 5-7 years. So, if you want to start something where you break your neck, start by going from generic content into account-specific content. You will fail. That's my recommendation after 9 years in the ABM industry. So you should see it more like poker cards. So if you have 50, 70, wherever content pieces, create ads that are promoting that content. And then what you do, you look at the customer base, and this works for both existing and new customers. I'll show you soon how you do it on new customers. So on an existing customer base, you look at what you've already sold, which is this mark. The dollar sign is potential, and the red one means someone else has sold or there is no fit. So what you do, you take your poker cards and you blend them uniquely per account. This is the best practice. And you can actually reuse the content you have. Don't go for account-specific content in the first phase. Strong recommendation. If you have the capability to do it, but it's very few that succeeds. So, looking at so for the top end of the pyramid, you can apply this approach. But on the second level of the pyramid, we need to do something else. We call it account-based trolling. So, we use the same approach. So, this is a list of second-tier clients, and it's actually applying both existing and new customers. So here is account 1, account 1,000. So what we do here, and these are add 1, add 2, etc., add 50. We can start off with an assumption. So what should we promote to who? But then we quickly, after a few weeks, actually do 3 things. First, we shorten the account list, because why should we spend time on the accounts where there is no reaction? There's absolutely no reaction. So, struggle with my mic here, as you can see. So, cut away several accounts. No point talking to them. And especially, there is no point sending sales there. They're going to waste their time. So that's the first one. And then, exclude content per account that doesn't resonate. So you narrow down on the themes. And what you also do, you give this signal to sales. You say, well, these two themes are working really well with account number 1. So when you talk to them, that's what you should talk about. And the third layer is to look at what kind of media type are they showing interest in. So if they're reacting in a business media, it means something. Probably I should go for the management team. Whereas if they're reacting IT media, I should go for the IT people. So the optimization for sales is 3 layers. Which accounts, which themes, and which decision group. Going back to the committees, as you've heard before. Does it make sense? Yay! Come on, guys. You're like a Swedish crowd. So, before I hand over to to Hans and Mikael. So we work with companies in 6 different continents, focused primarily on Fortune 2000 companies, very big in IT. And we decided already 5 years ago to do global accounts. It's been really heavy. The last few years we've done it right. So I'll hand over to Hans and Mikael. Welcome up.
Thank you very much. The sound check, there we go. All right, so we have this wonderful opportunity now to be standing between you and lunch. So that's either A, we can hurry up, or we can make it interesting to you, and we'll go for the latter. My name is Hans Bunes, and I am the Global Account Director for Hewlett Packard Enterprise. And to my right, we're very, very happy to have Mikael with us, and let Mikael introduce himself.
Thank you, Hans. So my name is Mikael Flygh. I have a great opportunity to lead the channel marketing team for Hewlett Packard Enterprise in Europe, Middle East, and Africa. It's a very wide geography with different cultural challenges.
So we're going to look at this particular account very quickly, and I'm going to ask Mikael to give you a sort of a synopsis of where they are. But I'm assuming by now that everyone knows that essentially the founder of Silicon Valley, HP, decided to split itself into 2. So now we have 2 essentially $50 billion entities in Hewlett Packard Enterprise and in HP Inc. So Mikael, give us a little bit of a synopsis of what Hewlett Packard Enterprise is all about now.
So first of all, I've been with the HP or Hewlett Packard Enterprise for 15 plus years, and we bought companies. We have done numerous of reorganization, but this is actually my first time to actually split 2 different companies. So that was a very interesting journey that I'm happy to talk more about during breaks. But for Hewlett Packard Enterprise, we are focusing on 4 transformation areas where we feel we can really help our clients to prepare for the new style of business, as we call it. And the first thing is about transformation, transform to a hybrid infrastructure. So this is all about helping our customers prepare for the new style of IT, new style of business. So how do you take your legacy systems with the new systems, with on-premise, off-premise, cloud? How do you build the infrastructure to help you support this? We talked about protect your digital enterprise. So this is about helping the enterprise to protect what is most important to them. So IP, customer data, everything is more accessible than ever. And this is about making sure that you don't only have a first line of protection. This is about making sure that you have a contingency plan, that you prepare for breaches, because breaches will happen. Third is empower the data-driven organization. We talked about it, several of the other speakers today, but this is for us about how do you merge the traditional business intelligence world with the new big data world and make the most of your key data. And last but not least is to enable the mobile workforce. So how do we put the tools in companies' hand to really, really drive that great customer experience that we heard about today?
So you, in this case, came to us and asked us to support you in your region with one specific of these transformation areas, right, Mikael?
Correct. We choose to focus on infrastructure in this case.
Yeah. And we picked one sector, and you're going to see we're going to even pick one account that we're doing really account-based in their buying journey in the telecom sector. But Mikael, one of the things that is quite interesting is that we've heard a lot about the digital journey. We heard a lot about the buying journey from customers today. But if you look at it from a go-to-market perspective, you look at the channel sales model, if you look at that in 2016, what does that look like?
Well, it's kind of interesting because we are most of a marketeer in this room, and I think all of us live by the rule that the only constant is change. Huh? So it's change, change, change. But if you look at the go-to-market model, actually hasn't changed that much. Yes, there are as a service type of approaches, they're a service provider, but still the go-to-market approach in the IT industry is pretty linear. So we have a vendor, we have distribution partners or reselling partners, and we all are here for one purpose, is to serve the customer, the end customer.
And if you then map this sort of a linear approach to a go-to-market versus the non-linear customer behavior, what does that mean to you as Hewlett Packard Enterprise?
Well, our joint customers' behaviors has changed a lot. So I was faced with the fact that we needed to do something different, and I probably looked like the gentleman on the picture here, including the desk, but a bit less hair, when I turned to Vendemore to get help.
Yeah, because what we talked about earlier today was this buying journey, this digital buying journey, the 57%. But if the customer is behaving in that non-linear way, like this, then we needed to find a way to support both the resellers and Hewlett Packard Enterprise in this particular space. So one of the things we've talked about, so many of you are in marketing. There may be some salespeople in the room as well. How many of you on a daily basis get into a conversation where you feel that sales and marketing are not aligned? How many of you feel that? And what could be one of the reasons for that? Well, it's about KPIs. The metrics are different. So marketing is talking about leads. Sales are talking about opportunities as an example. We're talking about personas versus buyers and influencers. We're talking about quantity versus quality. We're talking about individuals versus accounts. And in order to get this right, in your perspective, Mikael, what is it that we started out doing, and what was it you and the team started out doing before engaging us?
Well, of course, this is how we work with our partners, how we do marketing together with our partners. As always, the preparation and alignments are key to success, right? It cannot be said enough. Boring words, but extremely important. So we started to work with our internal stakeholders, sales and partners, to really map out the joint business plans, the joint account plans we have with our partners towards a specific customer in order to choose which customers to go after. Then we really made a deep analysis on these accounts, on where the customer in the buyer journey, to really be able to address them in the different stages with the right content, and also decide in which customers to invest in. And then, of course, we went into the phase that I think most of us as marketeers likes, which is execution.
Yeah. Apologize for the someone has mucked around with my flow here, so you got to see this many a time. So in order for us to then have a quick success, you asked us to do something very specifically, didn't you, Mikael?
Yeah, we wanted to focus and really get the quick wins in this pilot. So we focus on late stage opportunities for us that we picked out of our joint funnel with our partner.
So essentially what Mikael and the team did is they started out with the partners. They looked at the account plans. We picked a couple of late stage opportunities we decided to support. And then essentially what we have done then is, if you take a look at our delivery to help support the Hewlett Packard Enterprise business, is that we use then our account-based digital advertising platform with the ability to essentially hit that one specific enterprise that we're going to look at in a second with a dedicated piece of content or multiple pieces of content that we can also put, as Christopher described, into different functional areas or different audiences inside of that account. And if the neighbor is sitting on the next side, we're not targeting them, we're only targeting this particular enterprise. And we're hitting that, as I said, with one unique message. Now, the banners I'm going to show you are not in Klingon, they are in Swedish. So for those of you who are not familiar with Swedish, you can come and ask me later on what the message actually is, but it's supporting the pipeline acceleration and it's supporting the infrastructure bit. So this is co-branded activity with the partner in choice for this specific opportunity. And what we do is we show the audience 2 different messages to gauge which one of these messages are actually it's getting the best response back. And based upon their response, we also then retarget them for a deeper level conversation. Then, as we said, we have an international audience, we have a local audience, and we choose depending upon which audience we're trying to reach. In this case, we're targeting C-level people and IT decision makers. So we hit them in international media, like The Guardian, a well-known UK newspaper, in local IT media, in the local markets. And then for the retargeting, we hit them in a wider. The Eniro is essentially the yellow pages of Sweden. So every time someone will go and look for a phone number, if you can find a phone number of anyone anymore, this is where they will go. And what that allows us to do is to provide Mikael, the partners, with some insights of what's happening in these particular accounts. So this is a program that we've been running, this particular account and this particular opportunity. We've been running this about 2 or 3 weeks. We're looking at how they engage with us in this topic, and that's the first indication we look at. And then we look at how they engage with us almost on a piece-by-piece basis. Which of the content pieces that we're displaying to them is generating the most interest, and that's giving us a traffic light signal to provide back to the sales teams and the partner account managers of where to put their efforts moving forward. So we want to take this opportunity to thank Mikael for flying 9 time zones to come and see all of you. And we will be around today if there's any questions. I'd like to hand it back over to Christopher to take us through the final.
Thank you. Awesome, Mikael. So what we haven't covered today is one thing that I love to speak about. It takes a few hours, though. We're working with the biggest companies in the world and their biggest deals, and we picked up the best practices from sales and marketing. We're not covering that today. I'm just teasing you now. And then one of our clients, VTech, how do they do to almost double their profit? Not just on a campaign basis, but on an overall company basis. And why did their sales and marketing director become the CEO? I'm not going to tell you that either. What content works in which phase? How to run ABM in 5 other continents? Are there regional differences? We didn't cover that either. How to blend account-based marketing, LinkedIn, and marketing automation. How can you do account-based social selling? We see some great stuff done by our biggest clients. How are the biggest companies in the world organizing themselves around account-based marketing? Because that's happening as well. And which kind of ROI models are applied and which kind of leading and lagging KPIs should be looking at. But also, how is artificial intelligence coming into the ABM space? So my summary of today, I actually want you to leave with 2 things. The first one is you should do account-based marketing and not list-based marketing. List-based marketing is a kind of teasing way of saying you're doing a batch, you have 500 accounts, you show the same mix of ads to all of them. Try the trolling approach instead. Think of the poker cards on the content side. Account-specific content is fantastic, but it's too big of a change if you're not way into an account-based marketing program. And then, actually, this is key. ABM is the 50% of the value that we see is for sales. How should they prioritize their time? Like I tried to say, and Hans made the examples with HP. Which accounts should you prioritize? Which themes or solution areas should you talk about with these accounts per account? And which internal functional roles should I go after? Actually, I think maybe we'll see in a few years that this is more than 50% of the value. So to tease you a bit, why the VTech case has 80% EBITDA, 80% increase in EBITDA, is that they actually went full in. They applied ABM and they actually allowed sales to follow the ABM signals. It's very hard to do, but he managed to do it and he became the CEO. Thank you, guys. If you want to meet us, we're up there. If you want to reach out to us, we're on that slide. Thank you, Samuel.